One more thing that is screwed up or wasn't done properly is that these tubes starting from the bottom to the top, so we got cyan first, so this shouldn't be cyan but should be filled with yellow ink, because this bottom pipe or tube is shorter than this top tube. That means that this top tube should be going to the end right position on the head where the cyan is, not on the end left position. So this got turned around, other way around, so now we end up with cyan going through the shortest tube and on the end right side, which is not that good, because should be other way around. The longest tube should be on the end right side, not the shortest one. So now we've ended up with the shortest one going being forest all the way to the right, and probably the yellow, which is the longest one, goes to the position that it requires shortest tube. But it is what it is. Now we're gonna deal with it the way it is, but should be other way around. So if you happen to anytime happen to fill this system or the dampers, be sure to fill it with the proper order. So the shortest goes, and they're also pretty much empty. The shortest one goes to the left and the longest goes to the right. So that is also mixed up. Something is funky with this damper also, because I cannot really get the ink inside. It's magenta. Magenta is almost full over here. Cannot figure out why I can't pull out the air. Maybe the damper is eaten also. The seal over here from that goes to the got it this time, but I had to push really hard inside, which is not really desirable. But let's see, maybe it's gonna work. So that's the magenta. We got two whites next. Something is chewed over here. Whoa. Hate with that when that happens. A lot of air inside. This was probably never filled as it should be. Let's see the other one. That's a lot of air. Okay, so this is the black one. Okay, haven't seen this. I've skipped one white. It's over here. Also a lot of air. These dampers are not really good because it's almost impossible to get the syringe in. Okay, there was a lot of air in this one. Let me just check one more time this black, because it had a lot of air inside too. Okay, I think, yeah, the black one is okay. If you have air inside your system, it's a good chance that you'll be having a lot of problems with your prints, especially if you have ink such as this, very aggressive. It melted everything down. Not the ink I would suggest to use, because you have much better ink which are not that aggressive. You just need to find it. Also, these dampers are not really good, but they're not clogged or anything like that, so we're gonna stick with them for now. So you see now the longest tube goes to the shortest position, which is other way around, but it is what it is. Okay. It's a crampy space, so it does need a bit more effort to get it right. Okay, so now we can see if we can get the pump to pull something through the head, because it won't be pulling anything if it doesn't have inks in the dampers. So maybe now we will be able to get something through the head. I don't know. Let's one more thing, let's connect this power supply for the lamp, because I don't want it to be dangling around if we're gonna do any prints. Maybe we won't, but did I do that right, or if it does, it goes other way around? I'm not sure. It goes like this. Okay, so it is other way around. Okay, like this, and we connect it back over here. Also, cable too short over here, could be longer, but that's how the manufacturer did. All right, so let's see, maybe we can get the pump running. We're gonna see if there's gonna be any ink on the capping station. So you see the initialization is done properly now that the cables are connected. So I don't know who tampered with the printer. Maybe it was the owner itself, or he gave it to the someone who quote unquote deals with printers, but he didn't do much of a job. This printer is a bit more slower than the A3 printers regarding the starting or the initialization. It does take some time to get to the ready position. Okay, so it's now it reached the ready position, so we can try to start one head cling. So we're gonna see if it's gonna pump something now that it has ink in the dampers. So yeah, that's a head cleaning sound, but let's just see if there's gonna be something in the capping over here. So as you can see, it's still dry. There's probably no pressure on the pump at all. So that's probably gonna have to go along with the head, because the head cannot really print anything out if the ink is not pulled into the head itself. Probably there's only just cleaner inside, or the alcohol. So that's one head clean. Let's try another one. I don't think that something is gonna change, because pretty much the capping station is dry, so there's no pressure at all. Probably we've seen when we've removing the head that there's a lot of melted plastic pieces on the carrier itself, so if there's so much melted things on the carrier, then probably the worst thing is even the worst thing is with the pump. So you can see nothing, basically not one drop has gone to the capping station. So definitely we're gonna have to take the pump from the new printer, put it inside, and The reason why the head went 50% of functionality is that there was no pressure on the pump, so there was no flow through the head. And if it's standard idle for some time, it's really a miracle that even half of the head is working with such aggressive ink. But at least now we're on the right way. We know that we don't have to replace the motherboard. We do know that we do have to replace the pump and the last ink. So nothing will burn even with this head, but that's a good thing. But the third thing that we're gonna have to replace is the head itself. I can say other thing that we need to disassemble everything over here to get to the in the first place to the pump, and also I'm guessing we're gonna to do a job the right way, we're gonna have to get to the cable also, because that cable that is inside, if the owner tends to tamper with the printer himself, like we've seen, then maybe it's better just to have a proper cable inside than the one that is already splitting, because that's gonna just make additional problems. Okay, so we simply have to disassemble everything here and put it in the other printer. Can say nothing else. Alright, so we got a few, typically we got a few screws from the rear, and from what I can remember, I did disassemble this one before. It was not so complicated, but maybe it's gonna be a bit more slower than with the A3 printers, because I have to figure out things along the way. So we had 2 over here, 2 on the rear, and typically we got 2 in the front, which are kinda tricky to get to, because they're more to the inside. So I don't know, we should be either having a smaller screwdriver. Let's see, I don't think this is gonna do us any help, or maybe this part will go off by itself. Now this is one piece. What else can we do? Nothing much. Not sure how this is going up. Okay, so you have to use a bit of a force to get it out. Let me just see, something is still in the way, kinda. think we have to remove this cover first. Let me just get the thing. This one will be okay. Okay. So yeah, can now lift it up without any problems. All right. So what else? We do need to get the chassis out, so that would mean that we will gonna have to. Okay, so these two screws on the front are not even that important, because you've seen we can lift it without moving them away. So now let's see how to get the chassis out. We got a couple of screws over here. Let me just check the left side. Yeah, I think we will have to remove the paper roll too. This is the wasting, so definitely wasting will have to go out. Let me just see how that is done. It has one screw over here that is holding it inside. So that's the first thing maybe we should get out, because the pipe that goes out from the pump is connected to the wasting. Something is not still budging. Why is that? I have no idea. Maybe there's some other screw holding it. So you see, this isn't such a simple job. And this is the pump. We need to get it out, but first we need to figure out how to get the chassis itself out. The thing is, we don't need dampers and that's it, so maybe we should start with that. The head won't get dried because there's no ink. It's completely new printer. Okay, so maybe that's the first thing we have to get rid of. Okay, we will keep this as a spare part, of course. And what's good about this system is that its tubes are not transparent, so could be useful also for the UV ink, although most of the printers use completely black plastic ones. So I don't know, definitely could be kept as a spare part, if not for UV then for something else, because these printers are also used for DTF. Who doesn't have a problem with DTF being A4 format if it's not too small for him? Alright, so let's see. We could do it this way. The easiest way would be just to pull everything out, but I don't think there's enough space here to pull the dampers through this hole. Yeah, the best thing to do is to disconnect the tubes over here on the connector. And also, if we're gonna keep it as a spare part, we should be careful about the order of the tubes, not to mix something up, because that's not gonna be good. Alright, so this is pretty good connector, because I'm having a lot of trouble of disconnecting the tubes from the connector. Alright, so we can now pull this out and reconnect it back so we don't mix up the order of the tubes. They already want to get mixed. Okay, I'm gonna plug that back. Right. So this is gonna be a... Alright, I mixed up one already. Okay, I think I got them right this time. Okay, so let's see if it's gonna go. Oh yeah, it will have to go under the cable. So as you can see, this is not gonna be so easy task repairing this one. Quite the challenge. Alright, so let's see if we can get this piece out. We still cannot get it out. Maybe we need to pull out the okay. So this is one very problematic cover. Okay, so maybe I should just disconnect the tube that goes to the waste ink instead of pulling the waste ink out itself. Okay. So we got the waste ink disconnected. What else? This cable. Okay, so we're good over there. Let's see. We have this screw holding the paper roll to the bottom part. I think we need to get rid of that. And what else is holding us down? So we have this screw over here. Maybe we can even pull this one out or not. we can. So there was one screw over here that is holding the chassis down to the bottom part. What else? One screw over here. And there's one over here. Okay, let's see. I think this one has to go. So now I'm searching only for the screws that are holding the chassis to the bottom part, and because I want to pull the chassis out from the casing, and that would make things somewhat easier for this assembly. Okay, this is the motherboard. It's already popping out. Let's see if there's any more screws on the front holding. I don't think so. This one is for the keyboard. Maybe we should get that one unscrewed as well. Okay, so the keyboard is coming out. That's good. Let's see if I can pull it out. So there's a switch over here, and power supply is still connected over here to the motherboard. This is the gray cable over here that is going from the power supply to the motherboard. Let's just move these tapes, disconnect the power supply. All right, I think we're good now. Okay, and we got it out. So now what we are interested the most is getting this pump out, and as far as I recall, it only had two screws, nothing too complicated. Just one was hidden over here, so that would be good information for you to see where the screw is holding the pump inside the place. So you got one over here, which is pretty much reachable with any screwdriver. Okay, typical screw for metal, nothing too shabby. Let's now take the long screwdriver, and you have a hole over here on the right that you have to pull the screwdriver through, and you can see if you drop a bit of a light on the pump. The second screw is just in front of this white drum.